I do want to ask you about what happened when she was testifying and Donald Trump was reacting. I think it's the most we've seen him react physically and audibly. The judge even talking to his attorneys saying, like, look, I can hear that he was cursing audibly and shaking his head in the court, which could be intimidating to a witness. How do you think that he will respond now? If he talks about the witness, he can go to jail because of the gag order. So how do you think this frustration building in him will come out?
I think that his lawyers are really going to have to keep him from violating the gag order. And I think that they may have found a bit of a workaround, which we saw yesterday, where he put up a Truth Social post, but then very quickly took it down. But then what happens? It's playing on TV all day. His message is still getting out. There's one thing Donald Trump's kind of brilliant on, and it's communications and sort of manipulating the media to cover things. So they're going to have to keep him under lock and key because he was furious yesterday. Well, the one thing, honestly, Joey just gave the best kind of prosecution argument I've heard. We don't have cameras, we don't have audio, so we're seeing these details come out because, to be honest, I thought yesterday was an incredibly mixed bag from what we know. Stormy Daniels, I've interviewed her before. There's a story of Stormy Daniels that is a mom, a Republican who supported Donald Trump before, someone who's been bankrupted by people like Michael Avenatti. She's now in debt to Donald Trump, and who really is a sympathetic figure. I think she could have told the story to explain, yes, this encounter took place, but I want to put this behind me. I want a private life. I want to raise my child. And getting into the salaciousness, I think, could actually backfire with the jury, especially because this is somebody who did admit, I hate him. I was surprised by that because she actually refused to tell me whether she would vote for Donald Trump again. That's far more compelling if this is a woman who's like, I don't actually hate Donald Trump. I even agree with his policies, but this in fact happened. Yeah, and the defense did say that they wanted a mistrial because the judge had said you can talk about your encounter, your sexual encounter, in very limited terms, and they felt like she went over the line. The judge disagreed. I do want to ask you about this. Trump is talking again about potentially testifying. Here is what he has said, the latest thing he has said.
Do you plan to testify in court?
Probably so. I would like to. I mean, I think so.
Probably, I would like to, I think so. I mean, it's a bit waffly, but because Stormy Daniels took the stand and because Michael Cohen is likely to take the stand and it's going to be combative and it's going to get ugly, do you think that will push him to the point where he says, I'm testifying?
So it'll push him, but I think you really have to exercise discipline in this particular situation. And there's a number of reasons why. Because even as it relates to sentencing, if he's convicted, judges do not like people who go on the stand and misrepresent things, right? And so she was clear. What is he going to say? This never happened. It's a figment of the imagination. I'm not a micromanager. I knew nothing about the personal checks I was writing in a Sharpie to Michael Cohen. And then you have to worry about, Sarah, not only factually, but remember the hearing with respect to what you can cross-examine him on. Yeah. That's not related to this case, right? The fraud issues in New York State in terms of, wow, the Attorney General, the $500 million, it opens it up to everything. He's got to exercise discipline. I know he takes his own counsel. This is counsel that he might want to take. Do not testify.
I have to ask you about this. Over and over and over and over again, Donald Trump has said, I have got to be at this trial, but I should be on the campaign trail, and this is just completely all about keeping me off the campaign trail. Today is a day off of court. He's not campaigning. He's at Mar-a-Lago. Why?
I mean, it just blows my mind. Republicans knew that this was what they were going to get, somebody who's spending the most of their time in a courtroom, and when he's off, he's busy golfing. It makes no sense, but my one caution is there is a world in which these trials may help Donald Trump. And what I mean by that is he's not on the campaign trail saying immigrants poison the blood of America. We're going to round up 11 million people and put them in detention camps. He's actually kind of silent. People are forgetting the chaos. They're forgetting the drama. Stormy may contradict that, though. I think now that that's front and center, you remember the chaos that surrounds him, but he's not out working. He's not trying to get Republicans reelected. It's bizarre.